chaired all council committees. He's been a justice of the peace for many years in his own right and is involved in probationary and rehabilitation work. The joint owner of an automobile business. He's been in charge of the gardens and parks of Mildura for many, many years and was renowned throughout the district for appearing on this bicycle. Of course, Phil is a little more mobile these days, but it's good to see him back on his bike, and he's still doing a good job apparently. And behind him, the old tractors are all grey. And I tell you what, all look absolutely delightful too. I think the horse loves every minute of it. It's a long time since that old grey had a run, but here it is, going down Dickon Avenue, complete with a man dressed in 1934 garb and a couple of young people riding along with him. And when you look at the people walking behind that vehicle, that old horse and grey, that is what the Mildura Council consisted of as far as employees in 1934. Here's an interesting one, one of our more modern tractors of today, of course, drawing one of the original graders, which we used way back in those days of 1934. Actually, this comes very up to that tractor, Graham, according to my notes here, it's the 1930s vintage tractor that's been done up a bit. Well, congratulations to them, because they've done it up immaculately, haven't they? They certainly have. They certainly have. The old grey 1946 Ford truck shows a lot of the work preparation. This is the four characters on the back of the truck here, of course, are in the original garb, complete hand to it, of the council of those days. Before we into here, we then go into a tractor and Ransom's mower. What's a Ransom's mower? Got me. Oh, this is the old lawnmower, the old push-around mower that preceded the motor mower of today. Moving on to number 7 in the Mildura Council exhibit, we have the People Therapeutic exhibit. The Max J. Sweeper. Shooting it off and making all the noise as well. Going into the park garden side of things. Then the council makes fun of itself and has a look at a mock computer. This is a malfunction computer that does everything wrong, apparently, and we see people in there throwing out screens, and they're making fun of the fact that computers don't always perform as well as they should do. I've heard these computers called some funny names. You know how they get nicknamed? So have I. The MSA, whatever that is, what the MSA stands for, nobody told us that. Oh, Mildura Sewerage Authority, that's right. And here we've got the sewerage use and generator. The village utility a farm truck, and carrying on that farm truck we have some of the sheep that are bred and developed down at the farm. And from there we move into the new arrivals on City Council, a cat grader, the loader, these are new things, and then the Louisville 8000 and a water tanker. And these are all now in front of the National Bank as they progress down towards the riverfront site where all of these boats will eventually go. That's what they call a cat grader, they tell me. Well, I tell you what, there's 3 fellows riding on the grader's shovel, and they can have it as though it would not be my idea of fun to be sitting up there. But they seem to be quite happy about it and quite confident. But here we see the sign that tells us the theme of the Mildura City Council, and that is, ye shall know them by their fruit. Ye shall know them by their fruit. There's one word on each of the vehicles as they go by. A very long exhibit from Mildura City Council, and a very worthwhile effort on their part, and congratulations to them. Ye shall know them by their fruit.
This is going to be one very long procession because we've just taken some 10 minutes to get through one exhibit.
Yes, I can see us being here for another quarters of an hour, I would suggest, at this particular stage.
A lot of effort went into the preparation of Mildura City Council's exhibit, and I think they deserve top marks for that.
Getting in now to the more of the news in the past. At the end of the council entrance.
Interspersed amongst the trucks and utilities and all sorts of things that are presented by council, all sorts of characters, such as oranges. We've got some of the council employees dressed as big dudes, and then behind there is this girl, and she's in a polka dot frock riding a decorated bicycle. There's a lady throwing out flowers, and she's dressed as a flower lady, and then comes the train. Which train that is, I don't quite know.
Now, it's not mentioned in our script here, but it seems to be pretty popular with kids in it.
You'll notice by the group is all in one sign on the last post in the council exhibit. And here's the clown down here on the decorated bike handing out, what's he handing out?
Oranges.
Oranges. Good to see it. Oh, here's, what's this fellow called? Big Penguin or something, isn't he?
Well, he certainly looks like a penguin.
Yeah, he's Big Penguin.
He is a penguin, not in his head.
And float number 5, and that's as far as we've got in this very long procession. Float number 5 is the Sunraysia Country Music Club exhibit. The Sunraysia Country Music Club was formed by a group of local people in October in 1981 and has steadily grown in stature and membership. It's a club for all age groups, but they must all enjoy country music. They meet the first Friday of each month for meeting and singing, and every third Friday for practice in a jam session at the Irental Community Leisure Centre.
The aspect of the Sunraysia Country Music Club is that they've got many children who sing, play guitar and drums, and perform and enjoy entertaining with adult performers, which is a great thing. Many of the members have travelled far and wide to perform in the talent quest, and many have brought some home trophies which they've won in their specific category.
A beautiful exhibit by Mildura Lion Club, and it's featuring a golden lion, a giant golden lion on the tray, and then a large caravan follows it. This is followed up by the exhibit from Cameron Cycle Centre. Cameron Cycle Centre of 72 Lime Avenue is Northwest Victoria's largest retail bicycle sales and repair shop, according to his script. Now, Northwest Victoria's only snow ski shop, he's given us a commercial.
It's a good commercial.
And he also handles windsurfing sales and service. But there it is, Cameron Cycle Shop. Slight gap there, and then we see the Salvo. The Salvation Army has been an integral part of Mildura, commencing operations here only 4 years after George Chafee's arrival. And besides providing an opportunity for a bright style of worship, they act as an instrument of the community in giving service to those in need, irrespective of age, creed or circumstances. Their float is in the form of the Salvo's bonnet, and we find 3 salvos sitting up on top of the bonnet with the Salvation Army band in the tray of the truck.
And what a great tribute to the salvos from the people of Mildura in the recent Red Shield Wheel.
Mildura Meals on Wheels, providing a very silent service around town. It began nearly 20 years ago. Mildura Rotary Club began the organisation, supplying the equipment for Meals on Wheels. The Senior Citizens Club incidentally donated to this organisation for 7 years. That's the Salvation Army Band. Sunraysia firefighting group are following there. This was first formed on the 28th of September in 1970, and it's manned by registered fire brigade member. Any registered fire brigade member can man the Sunraysia firefighting group. Services 13 fire brigade units in Sunraysia, and they carry all their own communications and tower units. Tower unit was donated by Melbourne CRB. Incidentally, that group is always on the lookout for new members. And now here's a site that has not been seen in Deakin Avenue for a long time. It's a procession of vintage cars from the Vintage Car Club. Unfortunately, they haven't given us a listing on these. Graham, you might remember them better than I.
I think. I was, as a matter of interest, I was starting to look for one of my cars down there. But no, there must be something like 20, 25 to 30 of these vintage vehicles. And I always admired the way that the owners of these vintage vehicles take the time and the interest to always make them look so absolutely immaculate.
Well, there's one vehicle I recognise there. That's about a 1936 Mercury, if I'm any judge in it. That's
a little bit before me here, Roy.
Is that right? Never guessed.
You're in, I'm thinking.
There's a little one with a, what do they call those seats at the back? Dicky seats.
Dicky seats.
Yeah, that's right. You remember that, all right? I remember that.
Rather, you still
There's a nice big open top job there. These are really fascinating. This would be the oldest vehicle of the procession we've seen so far. It's a very ancient looking red vehicle with lots of brass work.
Magnificent Ford.
Even a restored 19, what would it be? World War II anyway, Jeep and trailer. There's still another 20 of these vehicles to come. There must have been 50 of these in the procession, Graham, all up.
Yes, they just keep on coming, don't they?
Yes. Little vehicles of all kinds of big vehicles too. But it's certainly a grand display on the part of the Vintage Car Club. Incidentally, the brothers to the mayor of Mildura, Roy's brother Alan, he's a very, very keen motor vehicle restorer, and I'm sure that he'd have some exhibit in here too. I don't know which one are his. But it was a pity that we didn't have a listing on those vehicles. I don't suppose it was possible, but it would have been nice to be able to identify them for you.
Interesting to note there, Roy, there's a representative from Bendigo, from the Vintage and Classic Car Motor Club of Bendigo. Nice to see them.
Certainly is. Certainly is. That's an unusual sort of we're hearing in the background. They're using some of the old type, bold type hooters on these. Some of these vehicles I've never seen before in my life.
Brand new to me.
Had a little breakdown after the vintage cars. They perhaps go a little faster than people that are walking, and they've got a little ahead of the rest of the procession, so we've got another minor break. But I've never ever seen such a lineup of vintage cars as we've seen here today. They must have come from all over the state. There wouldn't be that many in the area, I'm sure.
Interesting to note, too, Roy, if you notice that take a rough guess and say we have a couple of nurses there somewhere along the road, right in the middle of things.
Well, I don't know. That doesn't seem to be right. That doesn't tie in too well with what we've got here.
That's got to be clock, nice.
It's got to be something. But it's certainly not under 18 to 40 when you don't get in that system again.
No, I've missed out on that one.
They also have 15 life members, most of them still living and working in Mildura area.
Matter of interest, the ideals of Apex teams. Their aims include citizenship, serving the community, fostering international understanding and friendship, and supporting youth.
There's Humphrey G there, and he's very popular with the kids. He's on a trailer being pulled along by a tractor, and this is loaded up with kids, and they're all enjoying being in the procession. Monty's Walking Cart is next. This is a tourist attraction that is unique to this area, and it was established in Mildura in 1978. A very large trailer pulled by a team of 5 trains. 5 nights stay up in all, and Monty's Horse Cart actually holds 50 passengers. And it does tours every day. Incidentally, the horses' names, if you're interested, Slim, Spike, Barney, Bill, and Charlie. They get another one, they're going to call it Graham.
They haven't got many donkeys out here.
NB is the Little Offers. This is kids dressed up as bottle brush. Kids are calling out for Humphrey B. Bear. Incidentally, the bottle brush is being sponsored this time by Kevin Hines, who is the guest of honour up here. He's apparently making 2 programs of So What whilst he's in Mildura, and Kevin Hines, of course, is well known to all people interested in the gardening. The little bottler concept has been created by Mrs. Joy Sugar specifically for the festival.
Mildura's inaugural Bottle Brush Festival, by the way, will take place from the 12th to the 14th of October this year. A range of activities are being organised.
Mildura Trading Company exhibited a large orange, and they are also giving away oranges as they travel along. And behind it comes the truck featuring Mildura orange fruit drinks. This is an exhibit by the Mildura Cooperative Fruit Company.
This company, by the way, the Mildura Cooperative Fruit Company, was started in 1904 from amalgamation with the Mildura Fruit Growers Association.
The company operates branches from the headquarters in Mildura, Wimble, Mervyn, Two Yellow Bedford, Nangelot, Naya, and Robinson.
As well as Mildura citrus products, Mildura training and equipment, Mildura fruit juices supply centres with branches in Melbourne, Brisbane, and Perth.
They've got a really lengthy exhibit here, and this enormous semi-trailer of oranges and lemons coming up at the rear. As far as the eye can see from this point, the procession is each on coming, and we're only approaching exhibit number 12. I doubt very much whether the organisers had any idea when this procession first began that they were going to have such an enormous success as they've got here.
Now, coming directly behind this huge semi-trailer of oranges and lemons comes the Yugoslav community of Mildura representation. Yugoslav community of Mildura is they, complete with their delightful national costumes. They've got a program on Radio 3MA. Of course, each and every Sunday night, combine costume buying first.
That's done every week, Graham, by John Dolinick and his daughter Julie Hall, and they've not missed the program as far as I know. Very, very good. Yugoslav community. Behind that comes the telecom exhibit. In their notes to me, they say what's 2 meters wide and 4 meters long, coloured gold and white, and has moving parts and highly mobile. The biggest touch phone in the world.
Now that is a big telephone.
It's mounted on a Volkswagen chassis, and this vehicle was designed and constructed by Telecom Workshop in Melbourne. Cars fully animated, buttons operate, the handset raises and lowers, and the speaker broadcast record as necessary.
By the way, when the procession ends, the vehicle will be on view near the wharf, where it will be hooked up for use as an actual telephone. That might be interesting to sort of get around there and have a bit of fun with it.
This is the Telecom Owl, you know, that beep beeper?
Ah, yes.
The PS Mildura Naval Reserve Cadets, they're on board a boat which is being towed on a trailer. They've been established for a long time, and we very seldom hear much or see much of them, but it's good to see them on deck today. On deck today.
Like that. This is followed by the LJ Robinson motor.
He got a awesome car. Because it's so harness racing. I don't know what happened to him. Perhaps he didn't get in. But this is the harness racing exhibit, which features the horse with Tommy Coffee.
Of course, they're racing lights under the lights here in Mildura.
The SEC float depicts the energy watches campaign of the SEC Victoria and Gas Fuel Corporation. That's Willie Watches, and he's on the top of the float. On these lines, this is just the float. We have to be wine, but today we have a big quality. Now this one is a newer winery and was built in 1954. The large portion of this price goes to other wineries out of business on the float, which is very well changed over the past 50 years. Now, there, the district military band. They give us a more position. Lately, I have been informed delightfully colourful uniforms. Marching girls certainly look very, very smart. Of 30,000 paper flowers, and it's certainly one of the folks that must have taken more work than all of the rest together, because there's so many paper flowers. What a disaster it would have been with that one if we had a drop of rain. The rosary float is beautifully exhibited.
Ladies and gentlemen, was designed by Frank O'Brien and constructed by the members of John Jubilee's premises, Jubilee premises.
You can
nod, so I pronounced that correctly.
You're right. Bunch of children, including the kids from the roller rink on roller skates. Boy, this is some procession. This is the longest procession I've ever seen in Mildura. I saw a lot of Mardi Gras processions, but this is certainly the biggest. It's got more in it than I've ever seen in a procession in this city before. And isn't that worthwhile? So it happens to be the Jubilee procession. The Italian people have a radio program, and here is their exhibit. To tell you more about that radio program, they've got Italian children in their national costumes, and they're on the back of a big national truck. The program is organised every Sunday night, and it's organised by Tom Florio, who's on board the truck with all the kids there now, and Tom does a great job for us on this program. The Italian radio program on 3MA. This is Farm Car from the Cambridge John Deere field. It features a 1936 Model C John Deere tractor. These models were produced over 30 years lifespan from March 1st, 1923 to July 3rd, 1953. And what a change to see in them as they go by. 1984, 950 John Deere tractors and monster. And there's also a 406 cubic turbocharged centrifugal motor tractor that has been in to it in the form of gold. Now, this exhibit is supposed to have turned up a little earlier, I think, but it's
Yes, this is the Mildura District Motorcycle Club.
Mildura District Motorcycle Club was formed in 19
47. Now one of the most active prospective clubs in the country with over 250 junior and senior members. Club successes over the years have been the holding 3 Australian Speedway titles and 7 Victoria titles for both junior and senior riders.
All riding, they're probably having a bit of trouble keeping their feet down and staying in the station because these bikes are not designed to be just toddled along.
The sexting trials are represented, trail riding is represented, speedway racing for solo and sidecar, motocross and supercross, road racing and road riding. All bikes are represented here today in the Jubilee procession in Mildura.
Motorcycle and sidecar, the whole thing. As we see with most of the motorized parts of the procession, they do tend to get a little ahead of the balance of the procession, and that happened again here now with the gap between the Mildura Motorcycle Club and the next float, which should be the Sunraysia Waterfall, I understand. For the Road Transport Authority, everything's going remarkably well considering the size of this procession. I think there's a great deal to be said for the organisers.
You can uncross your fingers now, boy. It's going all right.
This is part of the motorcycle exhibit because it's a Honda exhibit. And it's a float obviously entered by the Honda dealer, with more motorcycles following him. So the motorcycle club has done itself proud today with a very, very large entry in this procession. But then behind there is a group of men carrying shovels, and that seems to indicate to me that we might be getting around to float number 24, which is the Sunraysia Waterfall float.
Until 1896, Safety Brothers, through the Mildura Irrigation Company, was responsible for the supply of domestic water to the township of Mildura, with the water being pumped direct from the river. In 1896, the first Mildura irrigation.
Only 3 of these remain today, which is an indictment on our modern way of living. They now consist of 14 branches with 400 members at Offendale, Carween, Moringa, and including Wentworth and Marilla, a branch formed the state in Women. The aims of the Country Women's Association are by community service to improve conditions in the country, especially as it affects women and children, and to encourage members to develop personal skills through craft, music and drama. Float 26. That's the Mildura District Agricultural Society float. The show society is in its 37th year now. First show was in 1947. And over the years, the show has become Sunraysia's greatest event, attracting entrants from as far away as Adelaide. Showtime this year will be on the 18th, 19th and 20th of October. And the show entry was led by the Hinsky brothers, Alan and Ron of Spelter. They're pioneers of the Sunset Country south of Mildura.
We've got the Sunraysia Horsemen's Junior Club also represented there. They add a little touch of nostalgia to the parade. Those older folks will remember a gentle era that moved more slowly and perhaps a little quieter than we do today.
ADFA, prepared by Sunraysia District Council, ADFA, and all branches of ADFA are represented, such as Mildura branch, Mobine branch, Robertsdale branch, Mid-Murray branch, and the whole lot. Float features two of the more commonly used logos by the ADFA and its marketing identities. Raising Joe is one of them, and he's very, very prominent there in their float.
I love that red truck.
Yep. We did this down in the float there. We seem to have a little spurt and start here. We haven't anything going past us, and then all of a sudden we've got a whole heap. But Bowring featured a horse-drawn town delivery cart depicting the period of 1888 to 1934, and the service as given by a grocer behind a counter to a customer being seated. Features the old-fashioned carriage, round table and the whole lot. And then there's the modern day fashion store illustrated by carpet on the floor and the parade in front. There's racing road. The home and drive clothes course is entirely Australian owned bakery, and they've introduced it to the Sundays area in November of 1980. Cart was built in 1938 and used to deliver bread and until the early 50s. What's this patching and hatching, Graham?
This is the Mildura base hospital.
There's dispatching, patching and hatching.
Well, the float attempts to depict the range of healthcare available at Mildura Base Hospital. Therefore, the theme, medical, nursing and support care from the womb to the tomb, not only explains the range of personnel involved in healthcare, but also the range of care available. For example, from the moment of birth right through to nursing home care. Mildura Base Hospital exhibit.
Float number 30 is the State Emergency Service. The local State Emergency Service members are depicting one of their many functions in the road accident rescue. The jaws of life, a powerful hydraulic appliance can be used to cut and trap passengers. And there's the jaws of life going past this point of our procession here at the intersection of Deacon Avenue. The Sunday Emergency Service. Mildura Centre Plaza, perhaps you do better as this one, Graham.
Well, the symbolic significance. Service 7 days a week, Mildura Centre Plaza. Part of Mildura, the weather resort, featuring sun and sun rays, symbolizing Mildura's beautiful weather, and the weather has really been turned on for us here this afternoon. The Mildura Centre Plaza. Mildura Plaza incidentally opened for business on the 26th of October, just 2 years ago, 1982.
One of them consists of a truck with a tray of 28 feet in length, and they plan to divide this into two sections. That's just exactly what they've done. One end depicts a small modern 30s scene with a shopkeeper and customers, and on the other side, an 80s shopping environment. The Target Social Subcommittee built this float to help interested volunteers from their staff. And an interesting float it is too.
Complete with the Boy Scouts on the back.
Correct. Now we're going to the Mildura City Soccer Club. This club was stabilised and formed in 1973, although soccer was played in Sunraysia as far back as 1935. Soccer is becoming one of the fastest growing sports in the area, and if you go past their grounds on a Sunday, you've got to believe me. They have 4 age groups participating, being under 12, under 15, under 18, and seniors. They rented their under 12 and under 15 teams to participate in the procession for the Golden Jubilee. Mildura Little Theatre follows the Clark Maple. There's that sleep maker, that's the sleep maker symbol on the Clark Maple truck. And then Mildura Little Theatre. Mildura Little Theatre was formed as far back as 1946, and they've been performing 3 plays a year, each year since then. They started off in the Mildura High School Assembly Hall, and of course now are at Mildura Arts Centre. Mildura Fire Brigade follows.
There's not much we can really have to say about the Mildura Fire Brigade. I think that speaks for itself.
They've got a very nice
vehicle that's got there.
It's got a koala bear sitting up on the back of a vintage fire brigade, and then the modern fire brigade vehicle follows behind that. That of course is the fire siren, and down the exhibit raceway exhibit with vehicles that are used to race out at the Mildura Speedway drivers track.
Mildura Speedway, of course, is situated 80 kilometers straight out Deacon Avenue in Mildura for the benefit of our tourists in town, and they hold approximately 10 speedway meetings per season. The track is run by Mildura Speedway drivers from Kansas City, Mildura, up until 20 years ago.
Some races, the Gold Guide Club depicts 60 years of riding in Sunraysia, the very first company being formed in Mildura in 1924. Some of the girls and some of the leaders are wearing uniforms from bygone years, whilst the rest are representing the three branches of present-day guiding and brownie guide around the third school in Brownie Green. Girl Guide Sunraysia. Children throughout the region have made the flowers for the spectacular World Association band at the head of the float. Mildura High School follows the guides and brownies. Mildura High School float represents education in 1934 and in 1984. Mildura High School was opened in 1912 and has been an important part of the community ever since. The float shows the school colours of blue and gold. The slogan or motto of the school is "Plenty is Glorious Mildura, may Mildura flourish."
Now this next float is from the Mildura Regional Library Service, and you haven't got to think very, very hard to work out the theme. It's a giant bookworm carried by children.
Features all sorts of book titles: Mr. Jelly, Charlie Brown, Maxine Wild Things, The Gingerbread Man, and it must be all of 60, 70 feet long. Mildura District Toy Library has the next exhibit, which is a truck with lots of children on the back, and the Toy Library is an organisation run by volunteers and is available to any family in some area for a very low subscription fee.
The toy box, incidentally, is situated at St Andrew's Hall on the corner of 11th Street and Deacon Avenue. It opens for 2 half-days per week for borrowing by members.
An exhibit from Stewart and Harrison. I don't know whether we still say Holden here, but that's what they said, it's your boss. But Stewart and Harrison entering some of the newest vehicles.
Yes, he said that. You can call it the Holden.
Right, that's good. Now you have intended some 7 or 8 vehicles. There's an interesting thing coming up here now. It's coming toward Edmonton and puffing smoke in all directions. I'm a bit interested to see what that is by the time it gets here. But following Stewart and Harrison, we have the Northwest Victorian Ambulance Service.
This particular entry represents the current ambulance technology. It consists of one 1984 F100 Australian General Purpose Ambulance. The on-road cost for this vehicle, incidentally, is $33,000. The total carrying capacity of 4 stretcher patients is manned by 2 trained ambulance officers.
Following the ambulance float is the Red Cross blood tank float. 2 girls dressed in BB blood drop costumes. They're very striking, actually. I've never heard the term BB before. Was that in some sort of commercial or something?
No, I haven't stuck it, I must admit.
The girls are accompanied by the Red Cross publicity van playing the jingle BB, a friend for life.
Obviously it's commercial there along the line somewhere.
We haven't heard. Mildura Squash Club. I don't see what Mildura Squash Club are doing.
A little bit further on.
Incidentally, this program is being broadcast by Radio 3MA at the moment. It's about time we acknowledge that fact, because we have been on air for nearly an hour with the description of this station, and the fact that Radio 3MA hasn't been mentioned up to now. So for anyone listening in a car or something, that's what's happening in 3MA Jubilee Parade.
And the time is approximately 16 minutes to 2 o'clock.
Chicken Train. Presented by Lloyd Beesy's chicken farm, and he's going past us now. This is the chicken train, loads of kids on the back, and Lloyd Beesy, ex-mayor of Mildura, as the driver. This is from Benoy's poultry farm, of course, and that's well known to tourists for its large Humpty Dumpty.
Here's the one with the float.
Yeah, it's from Rinking Motors to congratulate the city of Mildura on their 50th year. Rigby's operations began about the same time, and they've both grown up together. The boat might seem to have an engine problem, but the mechanics working on the engine at the factory are trained. We can assure you of that. They follow that with a range of their vehicles from the Toyota range at Rigby Motors. Well, I know I've said this about 17 times now, but Graham, this is one very long procession from Mildura.
Yes, well now we're up to about 47A, aren't we, as far as the floats are concerned. So you can imagine if we say 47A, you must have had somewhere in the vicinity of 50 or 55 floats go past us at this stage. Still more to come.
That's correct. Sunraysia branch of parents without partners. They feature a vintage C-model Ford truck with several children dressed in serious costume and displaying parents without partners logo. This branch has been in operation in Mildura for 13 years. They've got some 55 members and they meet every Thursday each month at 8 p.m. at St. Martin's Hall. New members are incidentally very welcome.
By the way, Roy, I wonder if this member of the Aero Club, flying very, very low over Deacon at the moment, is supposed to be in the procession as well.
Oh, yes, biplane right over the top of the procession at the moment. If you look up, you'll see him passing over as the floats go by. The CSIRO, Division of Horticultural Research at Mobile, they have their floats. They have theirs in the form of a glass house, and they're featuring some rather large fruit there.
Big off.
Mildura Life Saving Club follows them. Mildura Life Saving Club with their surfboard, wheel.
And of course the...
You won't be late, Tony. You won't be late. You might be late this morning.
Nichols Point Tennis Club. It's at least 50 years old. You wouldn't have thought that was it. Well, it is one of the oldest hardcore clubs in the district, and at the present time, it's the largest. They have a membership of 150 players whose ages range from 5 to 55 years. The club maintains 4 courts at Nichols Point and 8 at Riverside near the golf club. Top marks to Nichols Point Tennis Club. Mildura JC, started in 1956. And they meet second and fourth Wednesday at the Mildura Grand Hotel.
Here again, of course, new members also more than welcome to Mildura JC. Many leaders in today's community are for JC. Projects encourage public speaking, community projects include nursing home appeals, Christmas toy appeals, and last year's raft race on the riverfront. Mildura JC.
The Crossroads Sporting and Fitness Centre have float number 52. Incidentally, I must mention that the weather here in Mildura has stayed beautiful right throughout this procession. Hardly a second wind, it's a very nice day. Fitness and fun at the Crossroads Sporting and Fitness Centre opposite Target in Christine Street, and they have their float in the procession, followed by Hamilton Jewelers float.
Transport supplied there, by the way, for Hamilton's Jewels by Tony Lush Proprietors. Complete with forklift delivery.
They have a huge rocket on the Hamilton Jewelers float, and it's from theme to space age. A lot of work gone into that in top marks, the Hamilton Jewelers. Mike Clancy Motors followed the Hamilton Jewelers float. Mike Clancy came to Mildura in 1978. He's never looked back. Mike Clancy's Motors is presently situated in San Mateo Avenue near 15th Street in a $500 million complex of 3 acres. He's the lizard and the TV franchise holder. Lots of little vehicles now that Graham is thinking about, because these come from Bailey's Motors.
Bailey's Motors. Here we have one of Mildura's oldest and most comfortable businesses, now run by the third generation. Bailey's Motors started in 1920 by the colourful Joseph Harry Bayless, then by Mr. Bill Bayless, known as Young Bill by many, and now by Frank and Noreen Bayless and their staff. Always known for their exciting and high-quality brand name, Bayless Motors currently markets the world-famous Suzuki and Yamaha range of products.
tractor and implements follow along behind the sailors exhibit. They're distributors of international and Jubilee tractors and farm machinery. The original firm was incidentally known as M.O. Williams Proprietary Lorry Williams at 34 Beacon Avenue, Mildura. They commenced business way back in 19...